Yo, 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 what up, what up? What is poppin', immortal jellyfish? As always, it's your boy, Vinegareel0423, aka Turbo Eel Stuve, aka Montabo, aka Mr. Everything Man, aka Turbo Professor Joshua 9000 here, blasting those eardrums with yet another splendid turbo-tastic episode of what is objectively considered by both critics and peasants alike to be the second greatest podcast of all time ever conceived in the history of existence, second only to the official podcast, Vicinity of Infinity podcast. I'm here tonight with our highly esteemed, frequently requested, much anticipated, and long awaited super ultra mega extra turbo guest. Not a paid actor, not an imposter, not a hired homeless man, not a robot, and most definitely not a soundboard, but the one and only Andrew from the official podcast, aka Huggbees on YouTube and/or Huggbees TV on Twitch. But before you say a single word, Andrew, before a solitary utterance of a syllable escapes your vocal cords, I am obligated by the rules of my fan base, punishable by a mass loss of subscribers, to ask you a question which has been an integral part of this podcast intro for almost as long as this show has existed. The question our audience members are collectively, anxiously awaiting on pins and needles, leaning forward, jumping up and down in their seats, spilling all of their popcorn, and erupting into uproarious rioting sounds to have answered, and that is as follows. Do you, Andrew Huggbees TV, think that Vinegareel2256 was in fact responsible for the shelling of the WCY from 1891, or do you think Vinegareel8219 used his signature mind-controlling Szechuan sauce to disarm the ionic cell oxidators implanted in the subdermal nanobiotic quantum molecular multiplasma radifraculator, thereby triggering a surge of toxically acidic radiation from Vinegareel9576's self-calibrating electronic nuclear resonance device, effectively setting into motion the reverse hyperkinetic particle matrix, and destroying Chemistry Steve and Professor Clemens's laboratories?
Yes.
That was an either-or question.
Oh. No.
Oh, come on, man. We got to move past it.
All right. Okay.
Against us. We got to find out.
Okay. All right. Okay. I have an answer. Maybe.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'll go back to my first answer. Yes. The answer is yes.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to.
I don't know, man. You gave me 16,500 words, and you expect me to know the difference between the two. We'll say the.
You got to be prepared for these things.
Which one implicates you with the worst crime?
Well, a worst crime. Don't you think framing? Well, I mean, shelling the WCYF. That's a pretty.
So what is the WCY? I'm missing that part.
The Wharton County Youth Fair.
What the fuck is that?
It's an annual event. It's sponsored by the county of Wharton County.
Oh. You know? Oh, yeah, of course. Everyone's heard about it. I travel the world. I visit Japan and France and Thailand, and all they ever say is, oh, did you go to the WCY? Now that's a hip happening event. Everyone's there.
Of course. But yeah, that's... shelling that would be a crime, but I mean, framing Vinegareel2256, if that was the case, that'd be quite the intergalactic crime as well.
Right. Okay. So, seeing as I don't know who that is, because this whole show was a blindside, I was explicitly told to not know anything about this doing it. I'm going to go ahead and go with the answer, and I've thought about it this time. You gave me a moment to really rack my brain.
You're stalling.
My definitive answer is yes.
Playing that card. Okay, I see.
Yes. Right. Let's go with the not WCY thing. The I don't know. The Rick and Morty meets the instruction manuals on a nuclear reactor one. How about that?
No, I just I want to let you know it wasn't my idea to put that in the podcast. The audience makes me do these things. Yeah, that was back from a little backstory here. Some of our audience may not know, especially a lot of them who are probably just tuning in for this episode because you're on it. Yeah, that was actually that whole spiel there. Well, apart from the first part, but the question part of that is actually part of in the essay I wrote in college.
Oh,
so yeah, that I just happened to. to memorize it.
So
I got 100% on it,
you
by the
weren't
way.
giving me the big dribble of stupid made up bullshit. You were actually laying down your thesis statement live for everyone to hear.
Yeah, precisely. That's
Wow.
like that's the closing argument right there. You know,
I hope
that's what really
you got an A because I didn't understand a fucking thing you said.
All right. Well, now that we have that out of the way, now that everybody's awake, why don't you go ahead and give an introduction for maybe the like 0.28 people that don't know who you are.
Sure. My name is Andrew. I go by Huggbees on the internet. In 1996, I served under Bill Clinton under the Exasperation Commission, which was a think tank put together to censor parts of the internet that we deemed irredeemable. Basically, I spent 16 hours in a sweaty office locked with two other muscular men stamping out hentai, which is why most of the time you see they have pixelated penises now. I gave that up roughly in about 2001 and decided to travel abroad. There I became a roaming guru in which I attained the true meaning of enlightenment, which it turns out is if you ask politely at Wendy's, they'll just go ahead and give you a large without charging you for it. And ever since then, I took this wisdom to the internet and made up stupid bullshit like that because, hi, I actually just make dumb YouTube videos. I stream on Twitch. I am on a podcast, as mentioned before, the official podcast, which is
It's the only podcast that is even on the same tier as this one. It's the only one that rivals.
Well, for the official podcast, every other podcast is an imitation. Yeah, that's understandable.
You got to admit, like they're tied at least, right? Like pretty close.
I would say for the I'm looking at my recording time code here, and for having been on this podcast for exactly 6 minutes and 47 seconds, this is pretty much better. Yeah, this probably surpasses it. But yeah, I guess
in terms of word count, perhaps, but
yeah. I guess since people are listening to an audio format and they want a podcast show, the best way to describe the official podcast is me and three of my friends talk about dick jokes, and that's it.
Among others.
There is no more content to garner from that show, but if you're interested in that, go nuts.
Yeah.
Well, so I just do a bunch of internet shit. That's really it. That's what I do with my life.
See, I always give people that option whenever I have someone who's like known for a specific thing on here to see, like, just say introduce yourself and not specify whether that means introduce yourself professionally, introduce yourself personally, or whatever. And every single time, whenever like they have like a specific thing they're known for, they strictly introduce themselves professionally. Hi, this is my internet name. This is what I do on the internet. You know, this is my profession. And all that.
There's certain things that I feel the audience outreach is going to hit the boxes on. I mean, if my podcast and certain things I do have a larger viewership than everything else I do, you want to grab those tiny little babies that sleep into here and then go, oh shit, I know who that is. Like,
absolutely, yeah, I know. I mean, that's why I have like more popular guests like you on here, and then I also have just absolute random people that I like just meet like on the street basically, and just shove a microphone in their face, and like
which is how you found me, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I have my signature questions like, the one you've already been asked and everything, and then I also have some ones that I want to go over and everything too. Sure. So it's about that mix, giving the audience what they want, but also having fun.
Man, you like giving the audience what they want?
Well, to a certain extent. I mean,
God, that's where you and I differ.
It depends how much we're talking. Felonies, that's going to be a little more expensive, but
See, that's where you and I differ, though. I love fucking with the audience, man. I really do. Like I'll just get bored one day. I'll get bored one day and I'll be like, hey guys, you'll never believe it. I was just invited to playtest Elder Scrolls 7 or 6 or whatever the fuck they're on. And I'll be streaming it. And then I just like start reading recipes on how to bake cookies for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
I love that shit.
It's like that, I'm not sure if you still remember. I was watching one of your... It was like an unboxing video on your channel from like 2 or 3 years ago. It was like 10 minutes long, and it's just like looped footage of the same, like, oh, a delivery, and then you just open the box and what's this? Another box, and then by the end, it's, oh wait, I didn't order a package today. Like, I think that video is a prime example of your style of humor and everything. And I think you summed it up pretty perfectly on the podcast when you said that the How It's Actually Made series is essentially your like angry video game nerd kind of thing, where like that's the thing everyone knows you for on YouTube. But there's a lot, and I have those things on my channel too, as I'm sure you'll find out if you do any digging into it, since you'll be allowed to after this is over.
Oh, thank God, the embargo is lifted after the episode.
Or even during, I don't even care. I'll give you a hint. My channel name was one of the things I said in the intro. So if you can figure out,
Immortal Jellyfish.
That's what I call my fan base.
Ah, okay. So I remember Vinegar, Immortal Jellyfish.
Vinegar what? What's in all?
Oh, it was a bunch of numbers. 8244 or something.
Oh no, not even close.
Shit.
You only got one of them right.
Well. Oh well. We'll find out after this.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so everybody has those things that they're known for. Like, oh, it's like those bands that like get popular for one song and then like that's all people know them for. That's all they want played at concerts and everything. Like, I mean, I want to let you know, like, I haven't just seen like your popular stuff like the podcast and the streams and the How It's Actually Made and everything. I enjoy a lot of like the more like obscure stuff, back then too. I think the interviews at the cons and everything, that stuff is pretty good,
I really want to keep those going, but well, I mean, with fucking Corona right now, it's kind of impossible. But
well, you haven't done one in a while, I don't think.
Yeah. But, so first of all, hard slam dunk on Corona there for me to immediately date the episode. But second of all, the problem with those interviews,
we try to keep it timeless here.
But, of course. I meant to say it's impossible. What with social anxiety and other omnipotent issues that people face.
Yeah, but we tend to stick to Bud Light on this podcast.
Oh God. Oh, a terrible beer and a terrible joke.
Yeah, just about every beer is terrible.
Oh, my expectations dashed in an instant.
So I'm sorry, man.
Oh, but I
For Loco, yeah.
Oh God. To comment on that though, like I do love fucking with people with my media. I think I'm very good at passing things off as legit. And the whole interviews thing, I want to do them more, but I don't know. I want your perspective on this because you go to a convention, you go to a What's that?
As the most, well revered person on the internet, I why you're choosing me. But
yeah, of course. There's no one else to ask. But you go to a con, and you just kind of have to sit down and go, okay, I'm going to dedicate an entire day to fucking with people. And that was pretty easy for when it was like, oh, I'm going to the con down the street, and I'm just going for today. But when I'm flying out to see some friends or going to a big event, it's like, I don't want to have to do all this shit for a whole day, because you get, like 6 minutes of footage, but it was like hours of interviews, because some people are boring, some of them aren't funny, some of them are whatever.
And then some of them are just like the drunk, loud, annoying people that like that just don't really give like entertaining footage. It's kind of frustrating.
And some of them are like so against the joke that it's not even funny to laugh at how they don't get it.
All security and like
like you go up and you go like, hey, how's your day going? They're like, no, and I'm like,
See, I would leave that in. I think those things are funny because it's just like, really, what are you gonna do, man? Come on, I got permission from the manager to be here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got to find a balance of footage, and sometimes you just don't get it. So, I want to start doing that again.
Not many of my newer viewers know this, but there was a time when I first started my channel when I used to try to do social experiment videos on like campus. Yeah, it's even worse than you could imagine, man. I mean, like it was bad, and like I didn't have any like technical setup, and it was all improvised, so I just made up what I was gonna do on the spot. And so, it was just me. I didn't have a team. I didn't even have a microphone or anything. I just like used my phone. I tried to like hide it in my shirt pocket, but it was like really awkward.
So you were just stalking people and then passing it off as hilarious YouTube pranks.
No, not stalking people. I mean, I did end up taking it all down though. Like when I finally evolved into, things that weren't that, along with some other stuff. But I remember a few of them. Like one of them was like, I would take things I would dig through the garbage cans and find anything that I considered weird or interesting. Like I found a Walmart receipt one time. I found like a bag of chips with like 3 chips in it.
Whoa, Walmart receipt. Stand back, everybody.
And then one time I found like just one single tomato, like one of those like little round tomatoes, like one of those like the little ones, not like a whole tomato, but like a little tomato bite. And
Right.
and
Cherry tomato, well.
I just improvised on the spot. Oh snap! It's Tomato Tuesday, and I was just like, I gotta find someone to give this tomato to. Like it was just like really cringy stuff like that. Because I was young at the time and all that. So, but yeah. So the goal was I was just gonna take stuff out of the garbage can and try to like force it onto a random person's possession, and then kind of follow them from a distance without them knowing and see what they do with it. And then if they toss it away or throw it or whatever, then I'd wait till they'd leave and then pick it up and give it to someone else and see how many people it is until they just walk away with it. Like until they keep it. Like that was one of the things. There was another thing I'm trying to remember. I try to erase this stuff from my memory because it's not what I want to be known for anymore. But there was something with like coins or something. Like
Sure, though, I love Tomato Tuesday. I wish you'd bring it back. It's my
really.
favorite.
Well, I might do like a rendition of it, like an updated thing, like where it's more like polished and like I actually have an idea what I want to do for it. Because that's one thing, like when I make videos, it is improvised for the most part, like it's not scripted or anything. But I do like to come up with like a few jokes ahead of time or like a few like key things, like little bullet points that I want to like, include in it, or like just prepare myself for certain circumstances. Like there was this one really weird guy I remember in the Tomato Tuesday interaction, like where he was like asking me like if it was like something spiritual or whatever. Like I don't know. He's like, do you realize the significance of the tomato in whatever culture? Like it's like I don't know, man. All I know is it's Tuesday and this tomato's going somewhere. Turbo Tomato Tuesday. But
sounds sexy.
Yeah, now we've evolved to Turbo Toe Touching Tuesday, so it's much more dignified, sophisticated content.
Now, is that touching other people's toes or your own?
You're just gonna have to find out, man.
Oh God! If I start feeling something under the desk, I'm fucking backing out of here. I'm telling you.
Anyway, so my next bullet point on here was gonna be provide a brief autobiography, but I feel like we kind of already covered that, with
you're the Tomato Tuesday guy. Yeah, I remember.
yeah, my autobiography. Yeah, I'm the guest here. Thanks for having me, by the way. But
of course.
All right,
just watch it.
Right, let's switch it up here a little bit. Here's a fun little question: if you could be any car, which one would you be and why?
Oh God. Shit.
You're not the driver.
No, I know. I am the car, and it's
struggle with that.
So the problem is that you got to balance the idea of, do I want to be a sexy car or do I want to be the car that I want?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I could be a Bugatti Veyron and be fast as fuck. I could be a Miata and be gay. I could be
Look at me with the comment section. You're the guest. You don't care.
No, I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, if you know anything about cars, that joke was hilarious. Fuck. I would probably be. I could be any car. You know what? Can I be a motorcycle?
Sure. Does it have an engine?
I want to be like one of those Kawasaki crotch rockets, so that I can like haul ass. Yeah, so I can haul ass, but I'm still like, how do I describe it? I'm more actiony than a car. I'm I'm more dangerous. I'm more of a like appealing to douchebags. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You're not taken very good care of then. You'll probably just be in perpetual pain.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Oh, so you're a sadist then, huh? Like, yeah.
So if I'm hauling dick at 328 miles per hour and I hit a pebble and I get some like college dropout to fly his fucking brains all over this pavement, my life goal will be complete as an automobile. That's all there is to it. That's like the dream. for Cars,
Yeah.
probably. I don't know. If
I
Cars
guess.
was real, with like Owen Wilson and his Kachow-looking fucking face, you think that the only like real entertainment and sport they had would be how many people can they just launch from their windshield into a horrible death? Because what else are you gonna do? You're a fucking car.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, you can
They
get away
have
with it.
they
Nobody
have
ever.
racing, and that's it. They can't play sports. They can't.
Well, I mean,
They might be able to fuck. I don't know if they reproduce osmosisly. What?
yeah, let's not. I mean, that's like saying the animals on the nature documentary don't do anything except what they're documented doing. I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of code, like when the cameras are on, like act natural.
That's true. I just okay.
Have you ever watched Toy Story? I mean, I've been paranoid ever since. I saw that at a young age, and I haven't. I've never trusted any inanimate object ever since.
Well, Pixar is kind of the masters of making you question what the fuck's going on around you. It's like you got toys, cars, bugs, all of them sentient and feeling pain. It's like, well, great. I can't fucking step on my own carpet without feeling bad now.
It's just salvia, man. It's like that's
You think they're on salvia?
No, I think it's like a salvia simulator. Like they're trying to.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. That's all that is. It's like, hey, have you ever wondered what it feels like to be a cup of orange juice?
That could be a fun birthday party. You load a dude up on salvia and you show him Toy Story, but you try to convince him he's not watching a movie.
The problem is salvia only lasts like 5 to 10 minutes, so
really
kind of hard. Huh. Yeah. What have you never taken it?
Nah.
I mean, it's legal in most states, so surprisingly.
Isn't it just super weed?
No, we don't. Science doesn't actually know what it is. It's like we don't even know what the active ingredients are, or like its origins or anything. It's just this really mysterious thing, and that's actually why it hasn't been criminalized. Is because it needs to be similar enough to something that's already illegal for it to be made illegal, but it's not really similar to anything. So it's just kind of like a gray area. And some smoke shops or vape shops or whatever sell salvia. I mean, Florida's like one of the few states where it's been banned, but in most of the country, they just have that, and it's like, we don't really know what it is, but we know what it does, and it's a different experience in low dose versus high dose. It's comparable to DMT, I guess, but just more like with DMT, it's more like it takes your hand and guides you to the light or whatever. And salvia is just like a roller coaster. Like you're the passenger, you have no control. You're going wherever it says you're going.
Wow, I need to try salvia. Shit.
Man, I know my psychedelics, man. I think it's very fascinating, more educational than anything.
Eye-opening, enlightening. I gotcha. Oh, careful there. That's that salvia coming back on you.
No, not today. I was trying. I was just consumed my mind on this today. I was like, oh, come on, I can't have Andrew not like me here. This is my one chance. Don't blow it, man. Don't come on. I gotta get these notes together. I gotta
stop.
I was just like
get out
over again, and I still messed it up.
You don't have to try so hard. Just look. I think we'd all feel a little better if we took a deep breath, we sat down, and you smoked some salvia live on camera.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's allowed on YouTube.
Probably not. I wouldn't risk it.
But it would make me feel better to end this as an ad break. I'm sorry, I'm really sponsored. But what I'd love to be sponsored by, though, is food. Because I love food. Do you like food? You eat sometimes, right?
God, I don't want to, but yeah, it's like a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure. It's like, I tell everyone, no, I don't need food. I don't eat food. It's fucking disgusting. Putting shit in your mouth. Have you seen your mouth? What?
I already told you I'm a jellyfish. Get out of here.
Oh, yeah. It's like you need food. You put it in your mouth. It's fucking disgusting. There's like bacteria in there. But late at night, I'm jamming Cheese Whiz into every orifice I have.
You're just like a closet foodie. Like you won't eat around. You're like, I in the seventh dimension, there's no such thing as food. Like whatever.
Yeah.
and then like as soon as everybody leaves, like your friend goes to the bathroom or something, pull out like from inside the safe, and just the bag of chips.
I'm trying to do that plant lifestyle where I subsist off of sunlight and carbon dioxide. It's not great, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
You can
sponsored by food?
No, I'm not sponsored by anything as right now, but food, hit me up. I want to
Yeah,
get in
food
contact.
would be a good sponsor. I'll talk to my friends in food and see what they can say.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
But hey, do you? All right, I'll skip that one. But what are some of your favorite foods? What do you like to eat?
I'm a so I have a secret property about myself. It's like a hidden racial buff if I were in an MMO. It's called I'm a secret fat ass. So I'll eat nearly anything. I'm the kind of guy where it's like, oh, I'm so full, and someone goes, I got ice cream, and I'm like, give it, fucking, come on, power it down.
So
Uh,
you're spoon like me, nocturnal. Eats out of the garbage can, like
yeah. I
five
powered
hours
out.
a day, animal by night.
I mean, people are insane. They throw out a whole pizza box because it still has some cheese on the top of it. That's just good pickings.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not around a lot of rich people, but I've seen a few that at least think they're rich, and yeah, they just like throw away. Like one of my aunts used to like she would like serve you food whether you wanted it or not. Like we'd have like just eaten a feast, and then it would be like, oh, you're not doing anything here, have some food. And it would be like, you sit at the table and it's kind of like disrespectful if you don't eat it, because it's like,
Mhm.
what, you don't like my cooking or something. So it's like one of those things. But then once you just finally just can't eat anymore, it's like, you just have this plate of food here, and then like if you like get up to go to the bathroom or something, if it's out for like 2 minutes, then she just throws it away because like, yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
That's
those
why
are some
you
raccoons in their yard.
that's why when you're dealing with those people, you just got to like put it in your mouth, chew it a bit, and then spit it on the floor. And if they ever say, "What's wrong with you? Do you not like it?" You just say, "No, it's delicious," and keep going. Like, what are they going to say? You're wrong. You don't think it's delicious? Come on.
Hey, I have a medical condition.
Yeah, it's this food is wondrous. I'm just really full. Bleh, just over and over and over again.
Speaking of that, that
Uh,
actually reminds me of something where, and it kind of ties into what you were saying about like junk food and all that. About like this is an idea my brother and I came up with. Is like, I wish there was a way that like you can eat food but have the option to like after you swallow it not have it be digested, and just like have like a tube in like your neck or
yeah,
something.
that's called bulimia.
Or more realistically, have like gum that's like, cake flavored gum, or like, candy flavored gum, or like, basically like the Willy Wonka, scene with Violet and all that, like, a three-course meal and gum and everything, where it's like, I think we have the technology to do that, or if we really focus to it, and, instead of focusing on, these things to like save people's lives and do like all this kind of stuff. Like this is what we really need to be investing in. If we make this new, gum, this like meals replacing gum, then maybe we won't need to have this expensive medical system anyway, because people won't be sick because they won't be overeating, because they'll have their fix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been working on a similar patent. I've had it in development for a couple of years now, and I think it's very, very effective. It's called "Stop Eating So Much, You Fucking Fat Ass." And it's a revolutionary concept. It's you skip all that, and you just don't eat as much. And that concludes my thesis statement.
But see, the problem is you need to eat anyway, so it's really hard. Like
Now, when you say "do you need to
if
eat,"
you're
do you mean you need to
so,
eat
like,
an
smoking cigarettes or something, like you can just stop smoking cigarettes and that's fine. But like if you're
Mhm.
addicted to eating, you can't just stop eating, you know?
Yeah, but do you need to eat an entire country buffet whenever you have a meal? I mean, uh-oh, I think I lost you. Uh-oh. Oh no. Something has happened. He is frozen on my screen. I can't hear you if... Oh dear. This is quite the pickle. I'm going to sit here patiently. Maybe he'll use my audio clip here. This Oh, I'm having so much fun talking to myself.